Welcome back for round number 16 of my F1 Championship Edition career mode. Today we are at the Chinese Grand Prix. We have 3 rounds left. We're fairly comfortable in drivers, but in the constructors some points would really help us out because Liuzzi and Scott Speed, even more so, have been completely useless. I do have to say that China is even more important than I initially thought because next up we've got the Japanese Grand Prix, and I am 95% sure I will not be scoring points in that race because that track is absolute hell, arguably worse than Imola. But for now, we got to focus on China. Let's try and not think about the horrors that face us soon. First up, we've got to face the Chinese Grand Prix, a track that isn't too bad on this game, but overall it's not a track I particularly like. Then again, I said that at Turkey, and that went pretty well. Hopefully we can avoid the Hondas this race, because I think we're on a pretty substantial streak of making contact with the Hondas in the race, so hopefully we can avoid them this time. That would be lovely. Heading to the final corner to start our first qualifying lap. It didn't get off to the best of starts as we hit the curb and go for a drift, which did look pretty cool, but it's not the best way to start a qualifying lap, nor is having a car directly behind you on this game, because into turn number 1 the Sauber is going to send up the inside, and it's obviously not going to be a very fast turn 1 or sector 1 in general. We're going to make contact with the Sauber. It's not the slowest corner in the world, but obviously it's not particularly ideal. So coming to the end of our first qualifying lap, we know there's going to be a substantial amount of time that we can save in the first sector. The final corner is a lot better than the first time we went round there. Coming up to the line, we're going to go P13 and 136.4. We know we've got a lot of time to save in the first sector. Not if we go that wide at turn number 1, there isn't. We are provisionally through to Q2. We do have traffic up ahead that it looks like we're going to have to battle once again. It's our teammate this time. I would say I'm confident about him getting out of the way, but after what I did to him in Italy, I wouldn't blame him if he took me out. Into turn number 14, we have 12 seconds left on the clock, and just slightly we're going to miss out on completing this final lap in qualifying. We came so close, but we're sitting P14 currently. It's not going to matter. We are through to Q2, just about. We know we have a lot of time to save in Sector 1, and actually, looking at the times, it's not even close. I didn't really have to worry. So despite not getting the best lap in Q1, I had a lot of confidence in Q2. We will have time for one more lap after this, but this is our first run in Q2. Hopefully the final corner goes a bit better. It has gone a lot better. The first sector was clean. This is our first proper representative lap in qualifying, and we've gone P10 or 135.8. Just scraping through to Q3 provisionally. We do have Raikkonen in the drop zone, which obviously is going to be a threat in the final 90 seconds. But this time, barring a mistake, we do have time to continue this lap and actually complete our final run. Down the straight we come in the final sector. We've gone green in the first sector. We've gone 2 tenths faster in the third sector, so this should hopefully see us comfortably through to Q3, surprisingly. As we come out of the hairpin, we have been dropped to P11 by, well, I would say Raikkonen. It currently says I'm both P10 and 11 currently, but we're going to bank on me being P11 for now at least. Coming up to the line though, we're going to go P5. We found a 10th improvement in the third sector, and that sees us comfortably through to Q3. Is this my best qualifying performance all season? I didn't really feel confident going into this, but the more laps tick by in qualifying, it turns out I've actually got some pace here. Normally I go into Q3 expecting P10, maybe P9 if I get a semi-decent lap, but coming into this qualifying session, or this Q3 session, I did actually feel like I could actually get something decent. Coming to the end of my first lap, we are going to only get one lap after this because we've only got 90 seconds left on the clock. We've gone P8 or 137.0. Unfortunately, Barrichello is in P1, which obviously is very upsetting to look at, but on the plus side, we haven't seen any Hondas on track near us currently, so we haven't actually been able to make contact with them. We'll have to wait and see if that lasts in the race, but for now, it's been a very relaxing qualifying session. It's probably why I'm doing actually quite well. I don't have the mental fear of seeing a Honda, other than trying to ignore what's in the top left-hand corner. Let's just focus on the top right-hand corner. We've gone a quarter of a second faster in the first sector. We're on for a decent improvement here. And hopefully someone beats Barrichello. I don't want him taking pole. Heading into the third sector, we find another 3.5 tenths of a second. We are on for a very substantial improvement if we keep it together in the final sector. We've got 2 more braking zones to go, 2 more corners to go. We have run wide at the hairpin, which is not the best start, but it's not the slowest line through the hairpin. This is going to be our final run in qualifying. Through the final corner we go. We're going to run quite wide at the final corner. We've thrown it away, just a little bit of time at least, but we are going to improve. Up to the line we go. We've gone P7. We were P9. We've gone up 2 positions, 136.7. Barrichello has unfortunately taken pole position. Michael Schumacher P2, but Jesus Christ, what the fuck? I did see a comment in the last video of someone saying that the Williams got a good qualifying because the qualifying session was simulated. So what's the excuse this time? So it would seem we actually have some pace at the Chinese Grand Prix, so let's see if we can use it. Currently we've got no Hondas around us. We've got Button in P9, so hopefully we can just stay away from him. We have 5 lights. It's time to see what we can do at the Chinese Grand Prix. Lights out, and away we go. We're going to get a good run off the line. We're going to be side by side with the McLaren, hopefully into turn number 1. Nope, he's going to stay ahead of us into the braking zone, and with the outside line, unfortunately it's going to go horrendously wrong. We're going to run wide and lose position to Massa and Button. We then cut across on the inside, collect the McLaren of Raikkonen, and we've dropped down to P13. Not a great start. I would love to be able to blame someone, but that's entirely on me. Thankfully we know from qualifying that we do have some pace, so hopefully we can make up for that minor blunder. First up is going to be the Midlands of Montero, who's somehow P12. God knows how he's made it to P12, but he's not going to be in there for very long. We're going to go up the inside of turn number 11. We're going to cut turn number 11. Somehow only get a 1 second penalty. We have lost the position to David Coulthard because of it, but we have managed to stay ahead of the Midlands. A questionable overtake, definitely. We did get the overtake, so that is terrifying. That is an absolutely terrifying sight into the hairpin. We're going to brake nice and late, leave plenty of room on the inside. We're going to survive dive bomb danger, thank God. Let's just hope the rest of these overtakes are a bit more straightforward than that one. Next up is David Coulthard. A lap later we are in the distant slipstream of the Red Bull. Surely we're not going to make a move on the brake into the hairpin. Well, it's an unconventional overtake, but it's an overtake nonetheless, and we don't really have substantial damage.
This is why people hate you. He ruins other people's races as well as his own, and then it's just like he doesn't give a fuck.
I'll be honest, I don't really know how I did that, or why I did that. It definitely wasn't intentional, but I don't really know how it happened. We're now going to be battling the Red Bull into turn number 1. Thankfully, Coulthard isn't really the hot-headed driver, so he's not going to try and take me out because of what I did to him. We're going to get the cut back through turn number 3, and we're up into P12 for the second time. This time without a penalty, so hopefully we'll hold on to it. Next up on our radar is Ralf Schumacher, and hopefully this time the overtake will be a bit more straightforward. I'm noticing the trend here. Okay, so for the second time we're in the distant slipstream of the car ahead. This time the slipstream is actually going to do a fair bit as you come towards the hairpin. We very nearly get collected and make contact with the Toyota. For the third time we almost have an incident whilst overtaking, but we get past the Toyota. Next up is Christian Klien in the Red Bull, assuming of course Schumacher doesn't come back into turn number 1. Thank God we cut away. And finally we have Christian Klien for P10. I assume this is going to be a pretty similar overtake to the Toyota. I don't really know how I've suddenly found his straight line speed, because Coulthard was definitely a struggle to get past, but we managed to pass Klien long before the braking zone into the hairpin. Up into the top 10 we go. Next up, Heimfeld in the Sauber and Rosberg in the Williams in P8. Despite the unconventional overtakes and my eagerness apparently to bottle every single move I do, we are showing decent pace. I didn't realise it was that decent. Yeah, we're pretty damn quick. Is this what it feels like? On to lap number 6, and we have the Sauber of Nick Heimfeld in our sights. It's looking like it's going to be another back straight overtake. He will have the slipstream of the Williams, who is, as we've seen in qualifying, weirdly quick, but hopefully in the race he is going to fall away. We are going to have the distance slipstream of the Sauber, but judging by our straight line speed, we should be able to close the gap to the Sauber and hopefully get him into the hairpin once again. It's going to be a late lunge if we're going to do it by the looks of it. Wow, I was really confident. You know, watching that back, I genuinely didn't think it was that lap I did it, but no, we pulled the move off on Heimfeld pretty comfortably. Rosberg comes into the pit, and as we come on to lap number 7, we're going to be back up into the points, and thankfully a significant distance away from the Honda. A lap later, and we're well within the pit stop window for most of the cars. We're going to go up to P6, P5 as we come on to the following lap. Again, we have stayed away from the Hondas. We haven't even seen one this race. It's been absolutely lovely. Other than into turn 1, obviously, when Button got me inside. But you know what? Maybe that's why I crashed into turn number 1. It was just seeing a Honda just really upset me. But as it stands, we're on for an absolutely phenomenal recovery despite that incident into turn number 1. 9 laps remaining, we currently sit P5, and it's time for our pit stop. As you can see, our tyres aren't in the best of states, and we almost bottle it into the pits. We almost pull a Hamilton, but even more embarrassing. We managed to make it into the pits though, and you know, we're pretty confident with pit stops this season. We should be able to gain even more time and hopefully jump a few cars who have made an early pit stop. Wow. I mean, it's not an awful pit stop, it's just, you know, it's only 2 seconds slower, or 2.5 seconds slower than what we've been doing all season. We're going to come out P7, ahead of Rosberg, behind... oh, bollocks. But as you've seen all race, I am pretty confident with my race pace, so despite it being Jenson Button in the Honda, I don't want to, but let's go get him. I didn't. I don't know if it was just a mental block that I physically couldn't catch the Honda because I didn't want to get near it, but... or maybe it was just the hard tyres. We know they're not very good. Well, I'm not very good on them, but we're going to jump to the final lap, and we're going to come home P7. It was an incredibly boring final stint. Absolutely nothing happened. But we're going to get more points. 2 more points to our name. We're going to beat Rosberg. We're going to lose out to Button, annoyingly. But it's a brilliant result. P7 at China in the Toro Rosso.
What a race, wonderful stuff. Shanghai has provided yet another.
I'm just going to move on to the standings, I think. I don't want to look at that. So with 2 rounds to go, Michael Schumacher holds an 18-point advantage over Felipe Massa. Again, Massa has an absolute shocker and is completely thrown away this championship. He needs to outscore Schumacher by 8 points in the next race if he wants to hold on to this championship. We increase the gap in the drivers to Jarno Trulli to 9 points, which, with 2 races to go, that should see us comfortably taking P9. Unless Trulli pulls out a fucking 2004 Monaco. And in the Constructors, as we know, Ferrari have already won it last time out in Monza. But down in P5, a 5-point advantage Toro Rosso have over Toyota. It's not comfortable, but it's decent. Also, I've not really pointed out this season, but I just, like, Midlands have 7 points. That's insane. So checking our emails at the end of the weekend, we actually have a contract offer from Toro Rosso. They want to keep me. They want to keep me, despite every single thing I've done this season. They want to keep me on. I don't want to stay, but they want to keep me on. Which means no matter what happens, I will not be driving for Super Aguri next season. Thank fuck.